Let's start with some problems we have today. Based on the research by NordPass, average user has between 70 and 80 passwords, and that's a lot. And that's where Google and Facebook kindly come in and offer us their services, of course, in exchange for our data and behavior patterns we have. Most of us trust Google and Facebook with our login credentials, at least for some sites. Also, of course, Google Drive, photos of our family, contents of our private messages on Facebook, other personal details that can be repackaged, exploited, and also weaponized. And in just one tiny example, I'll say arguably tipping the 2016 election to Donald Trump's favor. So centralized models we are using today are making companies store their users' data in one place, even there is no real need or reason to do so. Some major data breaches in recent years include stolen health records and other sensitive private information. Statistics show it won't get any better. As we can see here is a timetable of data breaches. Besides central authorities like Google and Facebook controlling all the data, there's also the inconvenience of sign-up forms. And this filling out online forms is a time-consuming and error-prone process, and is one of the bottlenecks of digitalization. SSI can solve this problem by enabling users to provide their information in an efficient, verifiable, and secure manner. There is also a problem of logging to public computers and accidentally leaving our data exposed. SSI would be the alternative here. So what SSI actually is, self-sovereign identity, is basically an electronic ID that can be used by natural persons, legal entities, and also devices. I, as an SSI holder, create my own digital identity. I have complete control over my private keys and digital certificates. I also control with whom I share my data. And in the future, I will have the possibility for my data being verified by existing authorities as governments, banks, let's say, giving them legal recognition. It would combine the convenience of Facebook and Google logins with the principles of decentralization. What is important to note here, that SSI is using the same protocols for, in this example, OpenID Connect, that already exists. So supporting it does not require any major investment or change in infrastructure. Also, for created SSI to be legally recognizable, it has to be verified by a legal entity, as I said before, KYC, government, bank, although that is not necessary. So by not verifying it, it has the same legal value as identifying with email today, so small one. If you find it hard to imagine what SSI actually is, try thinking about it as, let's say, your mobile bank application, with the possibility of obtaining, storing, sharing your personal data, and authenticating to all services supporting SSI login. Core idea and benefit is that natural persons and legal entities interact in the digital world with the same freedom and capacity as in offline world. For example, signing the documents, notarizing documents, validating document signatures, communicating privately, authenticating securely, etc. So our data is stored privately on our device and not replicated numerous times across the digital world. We are simply sharing access to it, and as easy as we can share this access to the data, we can revoke it, unless, of course, we are legally bound to share it for a given period, let's say. So onboarding or filling in a form will never be faster as I'll show you in the next demo, we'll see a web application example. It can be basically any web app with login. We will see it on the left, and SSI mobile app example on the right. So we are, demo shows first time login on an online service. We get QR code that we scan with our mobile app. And now we automatically see which data is required to sign up and which is optional. So I chose here not to share the non-required data. I authorized the web service, and they get my data. I share the data. So, for example, now I changed my mind. I will share some other details. Or if I change, let's say, address or my surname in last name in this example, the services automatically get the new information. We can also revoke the access easily. I would say that SSI is not a distant dream. It's already a reality. But I'll talk about some of the problems we are actually solving at Netis now. In our project in e-mobility with Slovenian energy company GenI, we worked extensively on interoperability. What does interoperability actually mean? Let's think about bank cards we are using today. We can go anywhere and pay with them. It doesn't matter which bank servicer we use. We can withdraw money from ATMs from different providers, but this interoperability is not very common in offline world, let alone digital. In our project in e-mobility, we gave e-identity to natural persons, legal entities, charging stations, and data replication devices. Charging station manufacturers usually use their own protocols, which is not very user-friendly for persons, as they have to onboard for every different charging station provider. By using already existing open protocols and SSI implementation, we enabled secure communication and data exchange, user information sharing in a self-sovereign way, seamless onboarding and authentication. Using these existing protocols, service providers, in this case charging station manufacturers, benefit also as they have shorter time to market, and onboarding of users that use SSI is extremely easy. Next, we provided SSI identity to tourists in Tourism 4.0 project that enabled that we onboard once and use all services. Simple and secure authentication, controlled data sharing, and secure payment. But Tomasz will probably tell you more in the next lecture. All of the solutions that SSI solve come with security built in. This is very important. Encrypted peer-to-peer communication, secure authentication, etc. So what is SSI long-term potential? SSI projects are being developed extensively and new use cases come by more and more frequently, but one of the main ideas for SSI is that it can be easily integrated anywhere we use encryption and signing. One of the strongest pushes for SSI yet is also the initiative by European Union for all European e-identity. So this is right now pushed very hard, and we know this because of our experience and development of SSI solutions. We became advisors, expert advisors to European Blockchain Services Infrastructure, EBSI, as you can see there, and ESSIF, European Self-Sovereign Identity Framework groups, where SSI is considered as the ideal solution for all European e-identity. we'll see what will evolve in the future, but some groups are really pushing SSI to be this e-identity. We'll see what happens. So what else? By using SSI, there is no need for numerous usernames and passwords. Again, SSI is not commanding changing any current login types and can be added easily as it's using the same protocols. If we go on, current internet's trust problem is getting out of hand. Fake news, misinformation campaigns, deepfake. SSI could be the solution. Imagine a future internet where every tweet, picture, video, article is cryptographically signed to verify the author's identity, like a vastly superior version of Twitter's little blue check mark, if you can remember it. Then more fluid crypto payments. Digital wallets are being developed for SSI, and those will be cryptocurrency enabled. So widespread adoption and usage could at last follow. Then you'll say, okay, secure and private messaging already exists, but you need right now specific application for it. And the other person I'm communicating with needs to have the exact same application. So SSI with its open standards goes beyond that. Then I wrote down hyper-personalized shopping. What did I mean with that? Imagine your identity data includes your shoe size. If you share this information with online shop you're logging into, it could display only sneakers in your exact size. And you know, the application here and examples could be numerous. All of these are, of course, my guesses and what community thinks where SSI could lead to. Again, you decide what you share. That's the self-sovereign part of the SSI. Next, if a user does choose to share some data, why wouldn't he benefit from it? Companies are already making huge amount of money on data. Why wouldn't user be compensated for it one way or the other? Let's say discounts or actual money or something else. I don't know. Also, secure online voting is another potential application of SSI in practice. It's been researched quite a lot, this online voting, and there are many organizations also, not just people that wants to develop it. It's not quite there, but it's a potential. So I'll say thank you for your attention. I hope that you now know more about SSI, self-sovereign identity, and are excited about its future the same way as we here at Netis are. And I'll say if there are any questions that go in more details, feel free to email me at this address and I'll get back to you soon.